is Heartstopper different from any other queer media? It's a teenage love story that takes place in high school with an eccentric group of friends, which consists of the funny best friend and the funny best friend's eventual love interest. To some people, this might seem like the basic coming-of-age formula, except make it the fact that everyone is gay and no one dies. Jokes aside, this show has one of the best representation in TV media, from the cast of characters to the relationships in the show. Firstly, the fact that everyone in the cast are actual teenagers is definitely a breath of fresh air, and they brought each of these characters to life on screen in such an authentic way that you will not be able to help but see their stories for what they are. But really, Heartstopper puts its characters in a very sensitive light, making it a step closer to changing the way straight people see gay relationships better. So many straight people still believe that being gay comes only from sexual desire, which is why it's so important to have such a healthy, light-hearted show like this. And even if you don't identify as queer, you would be able to relate to them in one way or another. I think this is one of the many things that the show did right, which is being able to have the experience of watching the show with gay people that anyone can relate to, and in doing so also making gay relationships feel less different. It goes without saying that the differences between the gay and straight relationship are more than plenty. But more stories like this, where more straight people are able to see and understand gay love stories, would play a part in the decrease of casual homophobia that happens around us. Maybe not now, and definitely should have been sooner, but we can see how not only teens are affected by the show, but instead multiple generations are. Queer people in the millennial generations get to see now what would have impacted their lives when they were the ages of these characters, and the fact that now people of this age have it and is celebrated by the world shows how far time has come, at the same time offering hope in the near future. Though there has been some disagreement in how the internet is taking this, where people in the LGBTQ+ community would feel upset when straight people are actually able to relate to the characters. But is the feeling of love and fear and the desire to be accepted so different for everyone? Were we not all at some point a confused teen? With the relatability of our main character Charlie, someone might not relate to him for the reason that they're a boy who likes a boy, but maybe just because they have a hopeless crush who at the same time refuses to accept the fact that they are worthy of love. It will mean that they see themselves in someone entirely different from them, which is something. Unlike most other queer media, Heartstopper wasn't drawn in a severely dramatic light. It shows how casual homophobia can be, but it's really optimistic in the sense of how things can get better, actions can be taken, and progress can be made. It's as if finally, there's a show that actively portrays the queer relationship. Most shows have a queer relationship and tramples it to the ground after a few episodes, or just have it overly fetishized to the point that the characters are not seen as people anymore. Even with the show's positive representation, the community can have space to express their complex emotions from the separation of fiction and living experience. This is similar to something like a Disney movie, where the representation itself might be more than most, but the endings would feel too fictional for many. And with the friendship group as a whole, it might feel melancholy to the people watching it, as if the viewers are the outsiders looking in. But that's another thing that the show continues to emphasize on, since these characters are teenagers who are not just looking for love and romance. Strong platonic and familial connections are consistent throughout the story, which is nicely balanced against the romance plot. Nick and Charlie both started off as friends before anything else, and it was what made the story progress in the first place. But aside from the main couple, Nick and Charlie, the show includes more than one LGBTQ+ couple. Often, writers stop after writing one gay couple and consider it illegal to have another couple for some reason. And though it might seem insignificant, the show isn't shy to call the two lesbian characters openly for who they are, which are lesbians. Most TV shows don't openly use the word lesbians, perpetuating the stereotype that it's a dirty and shameful word, which it isn't. Having Tara as a black lesbian is also wonderful to see, going against another harmful stereotype, and she's written as a very gentle and sweet character. Her and Darcy also each have their own personalities, which is unreasonably rare as a character's persona is often stripped to their sexuality, where there has to be the mean lesbian counterpart in a relationship. Instead, Tara and Darcy are both very loving and wholesome, against another stereotype where lesbian relationships are portrayed to be overly sensual and erotic. Of course, these characters are minors in the first place, but you'd be surprised as to how many writers love the saying that age is just a number. Not only those, but you also get to see Tara's difficulty in coming to terms with her lesbianism, which is another real portrayal to see on screen. Her struggles along with the other side characters weren't overshadowed by the main couple and are all very impactful in their own way. Like with Nick's character and how we, more or less, were on the journey with him throughout his discovery as a bisexual. The pivotal scenes of his characters were touching in the graphic novels, but even more so on screen. Or even with the side characters that barely get any screen time, like Charlie's sister, Tori, her character still stands out as someone who is clearly present in his life. Her scenes with Charlie and Charlie's scenes with his dad not only helps us understand Charlie better, but they also remind us that he's a teenager who still needs a lot of guidance from the people around him. With that being said, these characters felt more like real people with genuine connections, and I think that's one of the many reasons why it has the success that it's having. It takes you on a seemingly sweet, wholesome journey with a lot more relatability aspects than people will predict. It leaves you wanting more of their story, but with a satisfying conclusion for now. And of course, we have Alice Oseman herself to thank for these characters and their stories. If this first season is any indication on how the next ones would be, I feel that the portrayal of the mental health and discovery journey of these characters would be just as if not more impactful than how it already is. And that is it for the video for now. It was supposed to go up last week for Lesbian Visibility Week, but I got sick and sounded like a 13-year-old British boy going through puberty. So let me know what you think in the comments for now. Feel free to start a new discussion and let me know what you want to see in the channel in the future. Bye!